Omaha's news leader, chronicling the stories and people making a difference in our community. This is KETV Newswatch 7's Chronicle.
I don't think there's anything I don't miss about him, and I just miss being able to, see his face every day, and we FaceTimed as much as we could, and yeah, I don't think there's anything I don't miss about him.
Loved ones of a fallen Marine are still reeling from his death. Good morning, I'm Rob McCartney. As we come off Veterans Day, honoring all veterans, this morning we're talking with the family of one who made the ultimate sacrifice, Marine Corporal Daegan Page. In their first public interview, we talked at length about the man behind the uniform, who Daegan was, and the hope they have for his legacy to help others. It's been more than 2 months now since that terrorist attack at the Kabul airport. Daegan was just one of 13 service members killed that day. He was 23 years old at the time. The Metro community offered a hero's welcome after his body was brought back to the U.S. Daegan was laid to rest with full military honors at Omaha National Cemetery. The Red Oak, Iowa native attended Millard Public Schools in Omaha, joined the Marines after graduating. Well, Daegan's family tells me he was passionately loyal to his Marine brothers, to his hockey team, his girlfriend, and of course, to his family. Listen as they describe the man Daegan Page was. Was he kind of, I don't want to say adrenaline junkie. That's kind of too.
That explains him though.
Oh, it is, really?
Yes.
So he likes the excitement and.
Oh, he was all about the adventure, no matter what it was. Yeah.
I remember when he jumped out of a plane and he called me afterwards, first time he parachuted, and he said, went skydiving, Mom, that was the most scared I've ever been in my whole life. I didn't want to get out of the plane. I'm like, I'm shocked to hear that. He's like, oh, but I got out of the plane. But I didn't want to.
Gotcha. Has he always been that way? Has he always been a kind of a go-get-it kind of guy?
Yeah, from day one.
Yeah, I told a story the other night about when he was a little kid, and he was pretty small at the time. We took him skateboarding for the first time, and we took him down to the skate park, and he got up on the half pipe and went down and fell on his face, and he did it about 5 times, and then he finally got it, made it down the ramp, and immediately went to the next biggest half pipe. I mean, that was just always his mode, like, what's the next thing I can do? What's the next biggest thing? How do I get a little more excitement out of it?
Ever drive you crazy?
It scared me.
Why?
I was just always waiting for him to get hurt.
And hold his breath and pass out.
Yep.
He always did what?
When he would get hurt or mad, up until he was about 4, maybe, he would hold his breath until he passed out.
What? Really?
Yeah, he had, I think, before he was 4, maybe 5 or 6 ambulance rides. He was collecting stuffed animals from the paramedics. Yeah, he'd just get, and the ambulance. Yeah, he'd get so mad and just pass out.
So that kind of leads into what I want to. What kind of guy was he? If you had to explain to somebody who had no idea, hadn't heard nothing about Daegan Page.
Yeah, I would say Daegan Page was a man of adventure and passion. And passion for so many things, right? He loved art. Just yesterday or today, actually, I was going through a few things and I had found all these drawings he had done when he was young. And he loved photography and he loved the adventure of skateboarding and swimming and diving and bicycling and you name it, he probably tried it at some point. He loved music, right? Passionate about music, and it spanned the gamut of genres, right? He initially was anti-country. In fact, in the Diary of the Wimpy Kid book I found a couple weeks ago, it said, name one music that you hate. And he wrote down country music. Funny story though, just a couple days after August 26th, his friend Chris sent us all a playlist, and it was Daegan's country playlist that he had sent to Chris and told him to get some culture while he was gone. And so he'd made this huge country music playlist, and then I found that note and I was like, well, that's kind of funny. When you were little, you said that was the one music you would never listen to. So just passionate about everything that he did. Animals, we have rescue dogs, and we've always had dogs in both of Daegan's houses, and he's just very, very passionate about animals and compassionate, I guess, for animals.
And he was into hockey too, right?
And hockey,
I mean, hockey,
everything. Hockey, skateboarding, swimming, those were kind of his big sports-like things. Boy Scouts, I think that was for the adventure, the camping part of it. The rest of it, I don't know if he cared about the merit badges, but if he got to go camping and hike around and do all that kind of stuff, that was his thing.
My son was the same way. I made him do scouts because I was in scouts, and it was the same thing. He goes, "I'll do it because I like camping."
Yep.
I said, "All right."
Yep.
So we did that.
Well, and I've kind of found through all this that everything that he does, looking back on it, had that brotherhood, right? That as we've realized, the Marines, there's that brotherhood that they have that he really enjoyed and was a big part of his life. And you look at all the activities he did, that brotherhood was there. Hockey, that was the same brotherhood. Scouts, it was that brotherhood. And I think that was a big part of what he liked about those activities. It got him, the excitement, it got him the brotherhood, it got him people that are interested in the same things he did. And kind of have noticed that more now that all of this has happened, looking back, but I think there's definitely a connection there.
What drew you to him in the first place?
I think it was just that spark for life. He, no matter what the situation was, he found the best in it, and he got done what he had to get done, and then spent the rest of his time having fun. And it was like, no matter what he was going through or what someone else was going through or just what was going on in general, he did his best to make everything a positive situation. And he really pushed me out of my comfort zone a lot, and I think that was definitely something I needed. And to this day, he still continues to push me out of my comfort zone. So
let me ask the siblings. What are you going to remember about him? What do you miss most about him?
Just his jokes. I mean, he always made me laugh. Or his, while he's been deployed, or while he's been in the Marines, it's a lot of Snapchatting. So just seeing the random snaps that he's sending of him and his buds doing whatever they're doing, or just the random conversations every once in a while. The video calls of whatever shenanigans they're getting into. Not much of it's TV appropriate. So but, that's just his love for life and his joy is what I'll miss most, I'd say.
What did Daegan teach you? Either obviously or kind of just in the background and you just picked up from him?
Kind of the same thing everybody else has been saying, just to, go past your comfort zone a little bit and just push forward a little bit more. And, today might suck, or what do you have to do might not be what you want to do, but like just do it, and you'll look back and be like, okay, that wasn't that bad, or that was a good time. And I think that's what he taught me most over the years.
Pretty inspirational fellow then, right?
Yeah, I don't think he knew it either. So.
I don't think he knew it at all.
No.
No, it probably made it more
I don't think
powerful.
any effort or any action he ever took was for that reason. He was just being him.
And finally then, what do you want the people to know about Daegan? What that they don't know about him? What would you want them to say, that was Daegan Page?
I think it goes back to that, the real Daegan Page at times had to do things he didn't want to do, or things that were hard, but he did them. He always did them, and he always knew there was a reward of some sort of fun or something on the other side of it, and that's what got him through every day. And I don't mean that just since he's been in the Marine Corps, right? Yes, he would get frustrated, but he would never quit. He always just strived to get through it. No matter how hard the challenge was, he figured out a way to get through it and get on to the next thing, to the best thing. And I think that's important that people realize, don't quit. Just keep pushing and keep doing what you need to do, because there's, the work hard, play hard thing. Get through it and then find something good to do. Find something that warms your heart to do. I think that's what I just want people to realize.
He used to always use the saying, you've heard it with anybody in the military, but embrace the suck. Yep. He would use that all the time. And we even talking to some of the Marines that he was deployed with and went through boot camp with and those types of things. I've heard the story numerous times about people would always say the worse it got, the more he'd be over there smiling, and he just would get through it, and embrace the suck was kind of his motto.
So what do you want people to know about him?
The passion. I think it's easy to, it's easy to say this, in this situation right now, but I think it's easy to sit and think about the things in life and let things pass you by. And this has been an eye-opener for us, for sure, that take advantage of those days, take advantage of the opportunities to be around the people that you love, and have that passion that he had.
I think the other thing is live your life without regret. No matter what. Do you, and whoever you are is who you are, and live life without regret. Because that's how he lived.
Now, the Metro community embraced Daegan's family in the months after his death. Still to come, what that support meant to them then and still to this day. You're watching KETV News Watch 7's Chronicle.